Guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I'm your host Ryan, hanging out with you guys tonight. Well guys, if there's one thing I did way too much of back in the early 90s, it was watching Beavis and Butthead on MTV. I absolutely loved this show so much, and so that's why I'm so excited to show off to you guys this exclusive, limited to only 1,250 pieces, Beavis and Butthead Mondo action figure set. This is going to be really, really rad. We're going to take a look at this set, take a look at all of its accessories, and we're also going to be doing a little bit of compare and contrast to this set to some of the previous offerings from other companies in the realm of Beavis and Butthead action figures. All right, guys, this is going to be awesome. So let's get on it. Let's get on it right now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm naked.
Alrighty, so hey guys, check it out. Now, if you're a longtime viewer or subscriber, you know that I don't spend a lot of time on packaging, but this was sort of a special exception here because this is an awesome looking box from Mondo for this exclusive Beavis and Butthead set. It's very, very cool. So obviously, it's shaped like an old CRT TV, and very much in the art stylings of Mike Judge, which is very, very cool. And obviously, we have the iconic looking Beavis and Butthead profiles there from the show. Yeah, but anyway, let's just give you a little spin around the box. Got a little more product art on the back. Just basically some production credits on the back side of it, but also it's keeping with the theme. It's the back side of a TV, which is pretty cool. And then just the same thing on this side. So anyway, that was just a quick spin around the box, but let's get to the important shit, and that is what is inside. All right, well, holy shit, guys. So it took me the better part of 15 minutes to unbox this set, because this set comes with just an amazing amount of accessories, different head swap outs, different body swap outs, different hand arm swap outs, a number of accessories for accessories. This is a crazy set. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the accessories here, show you what it is, and then we'll do some various posing and whatnot. But yeah, let's get on it, man. This is fun. Yeah, just taking a look at the figures themselves, and as you guys can tell, obviously they did not come with their iconic AC/DC and Metallica T-shirts that they're always seen with in the cartoon. They came with their merchandising T-shirt equivalents of Skull and Death Rock. If you're a fan of the show going back to the 90s, you know whenever they were doing merchandising for Beavis and Butthead, very rarely you saw them in AC/DC and Metallica T-shirts. Just obviously probably because of merchandising rights and whatnot. So anyway, that's the only disappointment I have with this set, and that's not really a disappointment. I totally get it. But other than that, it's absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, like I said, let's get on it. Let's pose these guys up in a few different ways. Let's try out some of these awesome accessories because there's so many to show you guys. And yeah, let's get on it. Let's get on it. The first headset I put on, obviously they are headbanging here. They are rocking out to some Metallica, maybe some Rob Zombie or some other awesome shit from the 90s. The first thing I did notice when I was taking removing the limbs or the arms and the heads is that they do come off fairly easy. It's a nice vinyl-y feeling plastic, if that's the right terminology. There is not a lot of articulation here. Basically, it's 3 POA. You got articulation in the neck. You can turn it right to left, and the arms can move around in their sockets, but the legs don't move. There's like I said, there's not a lot of articulation here. I mean, they're not statues, obviously. They're still. I would still definitely consider these guys action figures, but they are definitely limited in their movability. Just FYI, if that's something you give a shit about. I don't personally. So next up, I did a complete torso swap out with Beavis there and basically turned him into his Cornholio persona, alternate personality, which is very, very cool. And then I'm not sure what the hell is up with this Butthead expression. This is the third Butthead head swap out you can do. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I don't know if it's like from the episode Choking. All right, guys, well, let's move on to the couch accessory. Check it out. Very detailed, very cool. It's even got their butt prints on the cushions. And of course, you have that iconic tear on the back cushion there. It's very, very cool. Yeah, so let's get them on the couch. We'll check it out. Here they are on the couch now. I have removed their standing legs and plugged their sitting legs into their torsos. And yeah, very, very cool. Of course, I've got the nacho accessory there on the couch with him. Of course, Beavis, or Butthead, I'm sorry, is partaking in a nacho. One of his swap outs does have him holding a nacho, which is very cool. And of course, I got the remote control on the one arm of the couch and then a roll of teepee on the other one. And as it works out with the basically the large torso piece that you get for Cornholio, you basically get a free figure with this. I don't want to call it free. It's not free, but you get a bonus figure, so to speak, because while Beavis or Butthead, you basically have to use all of his parts one way or another to get him to sit down. Beavis, you can actually have a full figure, whereas with Butthead, you don't get a bonus butthead torso with him as you do with Beavis there as Cornholio. So that's kind of neat. But anyway, yeah, this is pretty rad. And of course, it comes with everything you need to reenact one of the more maniacal earlier episodes of Beavis and Butthead, and that would be frog baseball. Hey. Talking about Beavis and Butthead unless we could talk about their beloved classic CRT TV. And of course, it comes with both the factory rabbit ears and of course the clothes hanger. We all had to stick on the back side of those things to get better reception. And what is very cool, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is that even in this set, even the accessories have accessories. And the TV is no different. Look at this. You get various different screen swap outs you can put on to customize your display any way you want. You got the standard Beavis and Butthead intro profile pics, just much like the packaging. Very cool. And you've got some static, go between channels there. And we've got an MTV logo, which is very cool. And we've got another MTV logo with of course, Beavis and Butthead kind of montaged into there. Which is very neat. And then, of course, we have the Beavis and Butthead spin-off Daria. For some reason, I don't picture Beavis and Butthead watching Daria, but yeah, that's kind of neat. So anyway, yeah, let's just check it out. I'll put in a few of these and so you guys can see how they look in the TV. Now, probably the most unrealistic thing about Beavis and Butthead, and I thought this going back to the 90s when I was watching the show, was I always found it highly unlikely that either one of Beavis or Butthead's parents would flip for cable television back in the 90s. I mean, how else were you going to watch MTV without cable? Maybe it was pirated, who knows? I love it. You guys want to see a little bit of compare and contrast? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You do. So check it out, man. I got a whole cornucopia of Beavis and Butthead action figure offerings from over the years set up here on my table out here for you guys today. Just do a little bit of compare and contrast, just kind of see how these new Mondo Beavis and Butthead, these new Mondo 9-inch, maybe roughly 1/6 scale Beavis and Butthead stack up against some of their previous offerings. And yeah, they blow everybody out of the park. And of course, they are a premium offering in respect to some of these other things. They were not. But yeah, let's take a look at each one side by side. And yeah, it'll just kind of show you just how great these new figs are.
Alone. Got something on your mind? Call me at 1-900-LINK. Just $9.99.
So from 1998, we have this really cool figure set from More Action Collectibles. I don't remember More being a thing. I don't even know if they're still around anymore, but anyway, so these figures were released by Moore back in 1998, and for me, these are actually kind of the gold standard of Beavis and Butthead figures up until now. For me, it's actually hard to believe these were actually late 90s action figures, because they really did nail Beavis and Butthead's likeness in animation pretty amazingly, and in a sense that wouldn't be replicated or surpassed until really now. These guys were actually very, very awesome. They were a little smaller scale than what these new ones are, but again, in a compare and contrast with the modern ones, they still hold up. You know, they still bat their own weight. They actually look pretty damn decent. Now, what doesn't look so good are these reaction figures from Super 7. Actually, these guys never looked good. And when they came out, I kind of gleefully bought them because we hadn't gotten any kind of new Beavis and Butthead collectibles or action figures in a really, really long time. So I kind of gleefully bought these guys. Here they are on package, on card, I should say, in their Burger World uniforms as well. But these guys really weren't that great, but for what they were a bit stylized. Super 7 took some artistic license there, I think. But again, not my favorite at all. And the new ones and the more collectible ones certainly do blow them out of the water. And then finally, we have this really cool couch talking vinyl set. Now, this was actually an electronics gimmick put out in 1996, and I don't know the company that did it, but basically it took batteries and you'd set it on top of your old CRT, and when you could interact with your remote, so whenever you changed the channel or turned up the volume, they would make little quotes, little Beavis and Butthead quotes, which was really cool, but honestly might get really old after a while. But it was a cool gimmick, and it just held up really for a long time as a really, really cool Beavis and Butthead, and still does actually. Really cool Beavis and Butthead display / kind of statue. They're cool. Guys, if there was two things that I loved to do back in high school in the early 90s, it was masturbating and watching Beavis and Butthead. Well, hey guys, if there was two things that I enjoyed doing and probably did the most back in the early 1990s back in high school, it was probably jerking off and watching Beavis and Butthead.